one of the things that we like to mention and say is that we want you to forget everything that you know about circadian and color tuning. SkyView by BIOS is something brand new to the market, and we're going to dive into this today. So let's get going. So forget everything that you know. You've now been blasted, right? So about color tuning for wellness, color changing throughout the day, anything that you want to know about circadian lighting is now going to be changed. And what we're doing today is talking about traditional lighting technologies, and they truly aren't providing the light spectrum that our bodies crave to regulate our circadian clocks. We know this because traditional lighting technologies, because of the spectrum, reduce mood and focus and even lower energy throughout the day. And so much so that there was actually a study done in the UK of 85,000 participants. And this study showed that modern lighting techniques is actually leading to psychiatric disorders. And it's all about not getting the proper amount of light during the certain time of day. So this was low daytime light and too much bright light at nighttime. And this is what was being associated with risk of depression, self-harm, psychotic episodes, bipolarism, PTSD, and anxiety. And these were not low numbers. These were actually very high numbers of upwards of 40 to 60%. And so the solution was just changing your light levels. So avoid that bright light at night and then increase your light during the day. And this was the simple solution that was non-pharmaceutical to broadening and improving your mental health. And so when we think about this at BIOS, we know that we have a dedicated blue sky sensor in our eyes that control our mood, focus, and energy centers of our brain. They actually go past the visual centers of our brain to the centers of our brain that support this circadian response. And we know this because we've done the research. Not only are we a lighting company, but we're truly a technology company that has done the research and is backed by this science to know what light we need, when and where to be proficient to help that blue sky sensor. And so what we've done is we've cracked the code. We know exactly what recipe we need to help support the human occupants within the space. And we do this by building this recipe for healthy interiors and supporting light through spectrum, through color, intensity, direction, and timing. And what we've done is we've put this recipe in a bottle and literally put it into our new light fixtures that we're launching into the market. And this is what SkyView is known for. The SkyView tile specifically replicates this blue sky and warm sun, pairing it together in interior environments, proving that we can increase our mood, focus, and alertness throughout the day, really setting and connecting to our circadian clock that we've since then lost from modern lighting techniques. And so when we look at what this new healthy blue sky light output can be and how it's measured, we can now measure the brightness and we can now measure how healthy this lighting is. And so we measure this with a new criteria called melanopic EDI. And this is what we're now measuring in addition to foot candles on a horizontal task plane, which is measured by lumens and foot candles. We're now measuring it vertically in front of our eyes. And then this is our biological plane. So blue sky coming into our eyes at a high angle. And so with these new metrics, we are not the first to introduce them. Other parts of the industry have been adopted. The IES has now published this in their RP 46-25 guidelines. The CIE well building standard, NASA has implemented this, as well as government. And with this new metric, again, we're measuring this vertically in front of our eyes in this melanopic EDI. And it says that to create this healthy form of interior lighting, we're supposed to hit 250 melanopic EDI in front of our eyes during the daytime. And our biological daytime is anywhere from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. at night. During the evening, we're supposed to hit 10 melanopic EDI. And that is anywhere from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at night. And then nighttime, we're obviously sleeping, so we're not supposed to see any light at all, only 1 melanopic EDI. And this is the new published criteria that if you haven't already heard about it, you will be seeing in standards moving forward. And so when we look back at that traditional lighting techniques, the color tuning, the circadian for wellness, using that standard LED spectrum is truly not the answer. We've measured these new criterias and you can't hit these new thresholds with standard LED technology. And remember what we talked about. There's 5 things to produce this new melanopic light: spectrum, color, intensity, direction, and timing. And when we look back at a standard traditional LED, no matter how expensive it is, what the form factor is, or how many lumens it produces, we can only control the intensity. And when we look at the guidelines set by the IES, the RP 46 guidelines, to be able to hit this new criteria with a standard LED product, you would have to design 70 to 80 foot candles on your task plane. And that is typically too much for any occupants within the space. When you look at other technologies out there that have altered spectrums or optimized spectrums, that is getting you halfway, but not there yet. Hence why BIOS introduced SkyView. We needed to create a fixture that had all attributes of melanopic light to successfully put that many vertical MEDI in front of your eyes and on the task plane. And so together, combined, we will continue to launch new products, provide exactly what you're needing to fill your interior with healthy blue sky lighting. And what we do is create a blue sky gradient within our fixtures. So if you think about the horizon line and a blue sky day, blue sky is coming into your eyes at a high angle, and that warm glow of the sun is always going to be illuminating your task plane. And together with that altered CCT and altered gradient, it's proven to increase your mood, focus, and alertness. And so this is what our new altered spectrum looks like. It's different from that of a standard LED, where that blue is completely omitted from the spectrum. What we know our bodies need to really initiate that blue sky sensor is that blue range within that spectrum. And that's why we've altered the actual LEDs of our products. So you will see consistency of gradient within our product lines, as well as spectrum within our fixture lines. And so what does that look like all together? So you kind of have seen a preview of what that tile is, but let's now dive into the specifics and the attributes of this fixture and why it works to create this new healthy blue sky lighting. So we like to say that this tile is scientifically designed and manufactured, and that's because it is. This is all driven by science. Right now, we like to say that form now follows function. And the form factor of this product specifically encompasses those 5 attributes of melanopic light. So what you'll see is a different form of a troffer, but still an easily integratable 2x2 fixture. And so when you look at this fixture, it does have a dropped lens that drops down 3.5 inches from your ceiling plane. That's because we need direction. So it's 360 degrees of illumination with that gradient and with that spectrum to be able to get that high angle of that blue into your eyes while illuminating your task plane with that warm amber glow down below. That lens is a polyethylene, so it is very rigid and very diffuse. So it does distribute that gradient all the way down. When you take that lens off, you're left with 4 static colors of a CCT that build this gradient spectrum, all the way from 15,000 Kelvin down to 2200 Kelvin. But when that lens is placed on that fixture combined, you get this natural, healthy interior blue sky day. And when we blend these really cool blues and with these really warm ambers, they come together in this great color rendering. So we're seeing over 90 CRI. We're actually at 91. And when you overlay this on an R9 chart, you're as close to the sun as you can get with color clarity. It's absolutely amazing. So when you look at specification on our spec sheets, it's going to be a little bit different. You're no longer selecting CCT. You're selecting daytime. And daytime will be that gradient. And remember, again, it's that static gradient. It does not need to shift throughout the day. The sun does not change its spectrum. The only thing that's changing is typically weather. And that's when we get the shadows, and that's when we see those sunsets happening at night, is when the color does actually change. And so what you are specifying is your lumen package. We have 3 standard set lumen packages to choose from: 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000 lumens. And then you're choosing your finish of your pan and then also your mounting. And it's as simple as that. And when you do specify this product, you're automatically qualifying for well building standard points. You meet the new guidelines with the RP46, and this fixture also has a declare label listing. So you see product transparency with us as well. When you look at normal layouts, again, this is a standard fixture. It's a 1-for-1 swap with any troffer out there on the market. We do have UGR ratings posted on our spec sheets, as well as some standardized grid spacing for you. You'll find the IES files posted on our website, as well as Revit files soon to come. So again, this fixture is standard LED. So we do have standard daytime controls. This is a 0 to 10 volt fixture that will dim down to 1%. And it can work with a standard wall box dimmer. So whether it be new projects or retrofit projects, we qualify with this fixture for all. And just as important as daytime is and getting that stimulus of that 250 MEDI, it's important to transition to evening at night. When you do have spaces that are occupied for longer than the standard workday, it's important to transition your occupants to then sleep when they get home. When you think about retirement communities, any kind of shift work applications, or 24-hour facilities like this hotel lobby, that would be the perfect application to introduce evening mode. And what evening mode is within our fixture line is simply the fade of that blue into the warm glow of the amber to transition into evening, to release your melatonin to then go to sleep at night. And so when we talk about timing with this evening mode, we suggest anywhere from 7 to 10 p.m. at night is when you would initially use this. And so this is a simple Dolly 2 DT8 control system that has the 2 different input channels that you can then dim down in each of the daytime and evening settings to give you everything that you're needing biologically to support the humans within this space. Two different specifications here: daytime only or day evening combo. And so if you're needing help with specification and when to use this, Max 2 would be happy to help you there. And so we know that this product is so different. It's so new. This is a new way of thinking about biological lighting for interior spaces. And so what we're doing is we're implementing a SkyView TriView program. This is meant for you and your customers, you being specifiers, your customers being end users, to try this within your space. See and feel how it changes your mood, your focus, and your alertness throughout the day. And what you can do is order up to 8 tiles to implement into your space. Install them, use them for up to 90 days. And if you don't like them, please send them back. If you do, keep them and add them to your projects. This is a risk-free trial to help you all understand this technology and truly know how to use it and match it within your space. And again, this is general illumination to be used. Continue to layer your light like you do. Use your task lighting, your decorative, your cove, your perimeter lighting. This is meant for general illumination, and you'll see that in some application photos here. So this was an excellent SkyView TriView application of a flight school that we have in Denver, Colorado. And you can truly see the difference between the two classrooms. They are exactly next to one another. And this was used as a trial to see if the pilots and instructors actually enjoyed working under this space. And as you can see here, just the color rendering is extremely different. You have our new technology and then older fluorescence with parabolic louvers. And right now we're working on the bill of material for the entire retrofit of the entire facility. The pilots are learning longer through their sessions. They're taking less breaks, and they're also having less headaches. Their eyes are straining less while reading the charts and reading their handbooks when in this facility. So again, implementing this technology, understanding it, and actually seeing it is truly beneficial to continue to open up doors of specification through larger projects. And so there's value in hitting this new criteria. And how do we know that? We've actually done real life studies. Not only we are a lighting manufacturer, we're also a research facility. And what we've done is we've done and published daytime studies with Harvard, Accenture, and a luxury hotel brand. And we've seen self-reported rise in worker mood of 33%, reported focus improvements of 55%, and alertness boosts by employees of 44%. And these are not small numbers. These are very large numbers when talking to an end user, when talking to a building owner about productivity too within a space. And so when you're talking about ROI after implementation, you're truly adding value to your company, to your space when implementing this type of lighting. And one of the studies done, we talked about a luxury hotel brand, and that was actually done in California. And we've also done field studies where the light is off and when it's on. And just very quickly looking through the charts, you can see that drop of productivity when the light is off, but then increased when it is on. And so a lot of these studies we've actually published on our website, and you can read them for yourself. We have studies done in all different verticals, from healthcare to education to office and municipality. We are very transparent in what we're doing. And so we encourage you to take a look on our website, bioslighting.com, for more information. And so one of those studies is that reservation center in a luxury hotel brand in California. And again, as you can see, those old fluorescents in unison with the new replacement of that SkyView tile. And they're now a building standard for all of their hotels in the back of house, where people are working, the call center, the halls, the maintenance areas, kitchens, as well as conference areas. So having this hands-on, the employees actually loved working within this new space. Again, less headaches, working longer without taking breaks, as well as having other people come into the space to get the good feeling that they weren't getting when the light wasn't implemented. So seeing is believing. And again, we encourage you to do the SkyView TriView program as well for yourself, and check out our website, bioslighting.com. Thank you.